The 5.8 magnitude quake's epicenter was close to the city of Mirpur in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Dozens of homes were destroyed and cars damaged when roads collapsed in many areas. Kamal Haider is in Mirpur, that's close to the epicenter of the earthquake.
The first light here in Mirpur, which is situated in Pakistani-administered Kashmir, because the earthquake happened in the evening, the rescue and relief operations were hampered by the dark. Electricity, of course, cut off to many areas. Cell phone services also disrupted. But the military is now aiding the civilian government in the rescue efforts. 25 people have been killed, hundreds more have been injured and are under treatment in various hospitals. The Pakistani military is confident that the situation is under control and that they will be able to contain the situation by evening today.
Planning a terror attack, preparing to murder Antifa members. This isn't a movie plot. It's the allegations that recently landed Jarrett William Smith in an FBI cell. And authorities say his plans weren't only confined to the US of A.
Smith had spoken about his desire to travel to Ukraine to fight with the Ukraine-based violent far-right paramilitary group Azov Battalion.
Why Ukraine? Well, it's a hotbed for the far-right and white supremacy, which have a big influence in the country's military. The Azov Battalion, for example, its insignia features two Nazi-era symbols, still widely used by neo-Nazi groups.
Well, to start with, we heard John Bercow, the Speaker of the House, opening the proceedings and basically clarifying a matter of record. He was saying that as the Supreme Court decision yesterday was that prorogation, the suspension of Parliament, had never happened, it was unlawful, that word should be expunged from the parliamentary record. He said that now it should be recorded that Parliament had been adjourned from the evening of the 9th of September, the 10th was when they went away. That was now what it would say in the parliamentary record. Then we had the first of these urgent questions that we're likely to hear today. As you said, it's from Joanna Cherry, the Scottish National Party MP who was involved in the legal cases that the Supreme Court has been hearing. She was asking Geoffrey Cox, the Conservative MP who is also the Attorney General, about the advice that the government had been received and given in their arguing for prorogation.
Just a few days after the Ukraine scandal burst into the spotlight, U.S. Democrats have launched a formal impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump, making him the fourth American president to face impeachment proceedings.
The House will officially start an impeachment inquiry into President Trump. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi declared the dramatic move on Tuesday local time, claiming the U.S. leader had violated a U.S. constitutional order and that nobody is above the law.
The actions of the Trump presidency revealed the dishonorable fact of the president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections.
President Trump was quick to respond on Twitter but didn't take the decision well. Calling the announcement a total witch hunt, he insisted Democrats haven't even seen the transcript of the phone call that the inquiry is based on.
Let's take a step back and look at how this impeachment process could all play out. The Speaker's authorized 6 House committees to investigate President Trump for impeachable offenses. Those committees are gathering evidence, holding hearings. They're going to send their strongest cases to the Judiciary Committee. That committee will have the lead role in drafting possible articles of impeachment and voting on whether to send them to the full House for a final vote. If a majority of the House, which is controlled by Democrats, approve those charges, the president is impeached, which is the equivalent of an indictment. Then the whole process moves to the Senate, which is supposed to hold a trial. Each side chooses lawyers to make their case. Chief Justice John Roberts would preside, and the senators would act as the jury. It would take 2/3 of the Senate, 67 votes, to convict and remove President Trump from office. That would mean at least 20 Republican senators would have to vote to convict, which looks unlikely right now. Only 2 presidents have ever been impeached, Andrew Johnson in 1868, Bill Clinton in 1998. Both survived trial in the Senate and stayed in office. Richard Nixon also faced impeachment, but he resigned in 1974.
Bakınız, sene 1947. Neredeyse burada İsrail yok gibi. Tamamı Filistin. Sene 1947 paylaşım planı var. Ve Filistin küçülüyor, İsrail büyüyor. Geliyorum 1967'ye, 1949'la birlikte. Buyurun, İsrail büyüyor, Filistin küçülüyor. Ve geliyorum bugüne, güncel durum şu, artık adeta Filistin yok, neredeyse tamamına yakını İsrail. İsrail doyuyor mu? Hayır, doymuyor. İsrail şimdi de kalanını almanın gayreti içerisinde. Birleşmiş Milletler Kürsüsü'nden soruyorum. İsrail devletinin sınırları neresidir?
We're now seeing body cam video from the night a police officer killed her neighbor, claiming she mistook his apartment for her own.
Well, Michael, good morning. Jurors watched this dramatic video, this chilling body cam video that shows officers in their desperate scramble to reach the 4th floor of the Southside Flats in Dallas. It's the night Amber Geiger shot 26-year-old Botham Jean. For the first time, jurors and the public are seeing the chaos of that night in real time. Officers sprinting down a long hallway and finding a distressed Amber Geiger. At the time, Geiger was a fellow officer, taking first responders to her fatally injured neighbor. Several officers immediately taking turns performing CPR, trying desperately to save John. But prosecutors are seemingly using other videos to suggest Geiger received preferential treatment from her colleagues.
There is a new study that's just come off embargo this very hour, coming out from researchers in McGill, who are warning of microplastics in your tea bag. And let's go to Scott, because he has what is a very interesting breaking story this morning.
Yes, and a somewhat alarming story as well. If Canadians out there like their fancier teas in those silken bags, they could be drinking billions of particles of plastic in every cup they consumed. And this is out from McGill University this morning out of Montreal. And here are the bags. They're the pyramid type of tea bag on higher end teas, on fancier teas, and they're described as silk. And in fact, that silk is a form of plastic contained in water bottles, for example. But unlike water bottles, these bags are submerged in boiling water, and that's potentially releasing, they're saying 1 billions of micrograms, I should say, or a 60th of a gram of plastic in every single cup.